Hi, welcome to the next challenge that we have in front of us. And this one gave people a little bit of issues, primarily because it was confusing. And the confusion, I think, is more around the punctuations. So let's go and take this one step at a time. Number one, remember that punctuations separate certain things, right? So it's always a good step to just do a visual separation wherever you see commas and periods to separate sections for yourself. Here we go. And once you've done that, you see the text take a whole new shape for you. Okay. Number one, we have to find our subject and predicate. Remember, always finding a subject and predicate will help you narrow down the important bits. So when we're looking at each section, here's section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The first one says no. One simple word. We don't have to worry about it if we're finding a subject predicate. Typically, we need two. Subjects are always first, so let's look at the second section, and there's our subject I, and our predicate say. Perfect. Next, we have subject tests, and we have don't have. Okay. Next, we have another word, which is just one word, and that is right. And then we have she smiles. There's our subject. Here's our predicate. And then we have let's go eat breakfast. Let's go is a command, right? Kind of let us go. And this is all one big predicate. The subject is implied in the command let's go. Who's interested or who's the subject of the let's go? It's obviously I and another person, which means we. Let us go. Thank you. I'm going to get to that because it is a little bit, it's not confusing because everybody understands thank you, but it's made up of two words. And in English, we will call this an idiom, which is a shorter version of something that grammatically needs to be expanded. We'll talk about that in a minute. The next one says for cutting my hair. For being the preposition, for what requires a object of the preposition. In this case, it's cutting. The ing in cutting indicates that I'm a verb. A verb turned into a noun is a gerund, and verbs take direct objects. So here is pretty much everything we need to know. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 main ideas. I say, tests don't have, and she smiles. So let's look at this. I say, what do you say? I say no. Okay, so the direct object of I say is the quote no. Next, the tests don't have. What don't they have? And we have another preposition to and change, a verb. This is known, remember from yesterday's challenge, this is known as the object infinitive. It's the object of what the tests don't have to or don't have. They don't have to change. What don't they have to change? And the direct object of that is choices. Whose choices? Our choices. A possessive. Right. Okay, so in this case, right, it could be a direction, but it's not a direction here. It's pretty much just an exclamation. We could even call it an adverb. So kind of like, yeah, right, no problem. Expression. And she smiles when she says this. Doesn't require direct object because it's just one idea. And then let's go. Okay. Let's go. It's a little bit more confusing here. And this is probably where a lot of people were thinking, well, what do I do about eat? So let's go. What's missing between go and eat is to. Let's go to eat. This is known as a purpose clause. So let us go in order to eat breakfast. So the purpose of going is to eat. And this is known as an infinitive. To eat what? Breakfast. direct object. Before I get to thank you, I'd want to do this one. For cutting, and remember that gerunds do take direct objects. Cutting what? Hair. Whose hair? My hair. Awesome. So now thank you. I want to break up into a very workable chunk here at the very bottom. So just give me a second here. So thank you is a very short way of saying I, or you could say thanks be to you. And also say I give thanks to you. So an idiom is pretty much a word or an expression put together that really on the surface of grammar doesn't really make sense. So thank you is an idiom. You understand what thank you is when somebody says it to you. But here on the bottom is exactly what is implied. So thanks be to you has what you should already recognize as an indirect object, right? So going back to the drawing board, you is an indirect object because the thanks are being given to you. And what is being given? Thanks, which is the direct object of what you're giving. DO, direct object, sorry. So hopefully now you know what the syntax of the word or the expression thank you is. Thanks is always the direct object that is being given to you for something. And how am I saying for? Because right here, the next clause tells you what you're thankful for cutting hair. All right, now let's take a look at our verb tenses. So for I say first person, singular, it is present, and it is simple. The tests are always third person. Sorry, third person singular, and don't have would be a present simple. To change being an infinitive stays an infinitive. She smiles is third person singular, and it's also present simple. Notice we're back to this narrative style of present simples, present simples, present simples. Let's go eat breakfast is different. Let us go, that's first person plural because it's we who are going. And this is not an indicative. These ones were all indicative. But this one is present. It's simple, but it's subjunctive. Right? And then we have pretty much that's it. That's all of our ideas and all of our verb tenses. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks, guys, for taking these challenges. Some of these things you may not get right away. Don't worry. What I want you guys to remember is, can you break up the chunks in your sentences? Can you break them up into workable chunks? And by doing so, can you find your subject? Can you find your predicate so you can understand or you can comprehend what's being done in this sentence or in whatever you're reading a lot better? Once again, your introductions are coming in. I'm seeing a lot of improvement in your writing because a lot of you trying these are actually becoming more and more aware of how you're writing, how you're punctuating. So please keep it up, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all tomorrow. Bye.